Assalamualaikum. This is Maliha Nusrat from CSE session 2021, registration number 2021331056. Today I am going to discuss the chapter 4 for this presentation. Chapter 4 is theory of profit and market structure. I am going to discuss 4.2 types of market. Here we can discuss basic characteristics of markets, which is buyers, seller, quantity, quality and product. We will see a flow chart where we can see various types of markets, which are the chart is made on the basis of number of sellers, and here we can see monopoly, duopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition and perfectly competitive market. Here competition increasing for sellers from left to right and numbers of seller is main criteria. Monopoly and perfectly competitive market are two extreme market. Why? Here monopoly is that kind of market where there will be only one seller, and perfectly competitive market is that kind of market where there will be many sellers. So monopoly is the leftmost extreme market where we can see there is less competition and there will be only one seller, and the rightmost extreme market is perfectly competitive market. And duopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition, they are some market placed in between the chart. Here there are number of sellers are increasing gradually. We can also show many other markets, but we will be discussing only these markets for today's presentation. Now we can also have some other markets distributed or organized according to the number of buyers, quality of products, quantity of products, product itself. So we will be discussing about these types of market with help of a table where we will comparatively discuss about these characteristics of these markets. Now let's proceed to the chart we will be discussing about. Here we can see a chart, a table most precisely, and here we can see it is nicely organized, and we can see different kind of markets here. PCM as in perfectly competitive market, monopoly, MCM as in monopolistic competitive market, duopoly and oligopoly. We can see other headlines too, which is types of buyers and sellers, quality of product, control over price, entry barriers. Now we will discuss thoroughly about perfectly competitive market, types of buyers and sellers. There will be many buyers and many sellers, and many sellers will be selling their product and many buyers will buy these products. About the quality of product this market will produce or this market will be selling, they will be homogeneous. Why? Because there will be many buyers, so all these buyers will be producing same kind of product will be which will this will be homogeneous, because there will not be many varieties, because the competition is very high. So even though they will try to be creative, they will not be able to, because ultimately some product will end up looking like same, or the quality will be same. Basically, control over price. There will be no control over price for this market, because there will be the competition will be high, and that's because the seller cannot really control the price, because there is high competition and high demand and high supply. So there is not really scarcity of product, or there will be other companies which will follow the same price. So even though for one company the price will fluctuate, it will not really matter much. About entry barriers. Entry barrier here is free entry and free exit, because the competition is really high, and in short run there will be supernormal profit, and even in loss. It's like some sellers will enter the market and will get supernormal profit, and then will get loss eventually, but it will ultimately end up in normal profit in long run. So there will be free entry and free exit. About monopoly. The types of buyers and sellers will be many buyers and one seller, because it is monopoly. We are, from the name we are getting, there will be only one seller will be selling products, and because there will be only one seller, the competition is not, there is no competition at all, to be very honest. There will be only one seller, and they can control the market however they want, and starting from price, quality of product, entry barriers, they can easily control everything. So we are moving to quality of the product. There will be no close substitute, because there is only one seller and they will only sell their product. So there will be no close substitute for their product. Control over price, there will be full control, because there is no other competition, so no other seller to set the price. So this is the only product they will be selling, and they are the only price settlers. So yes, there will be full control. Entry barriers. No entry, full barrier. No entry, full barrier, because there is only one seller and there is some kind of syndicate, so there will be no entry and full barrier for other sellers, because there is only one seller. And for monopolistic competitive market, there is many buyers and many sellers, but not as many as perfectly competitive market, and the market is a little bit leaning on to monopolistic monopoly. That's why we are naming it monopolistic competitive market. The quality of product, there will be differentiated product. That does mean they won't be homogeneous, because there is many buyers, but they are leaning on to monopoly. That's why there will be products differentiated from another. We can differentiate the products from one another, but there will be differentiated product. About control over price, there will be some control, as this market is a monopolistic competitive market. That does mean competitive but in a monopolistic way. The entry is barriers, because it is a competitive market. There will be free entry and free exit. About duopoly, there will be only two sellers. We are getting this information from this name, duo. Of course, there will be two sellers and many buyers. Because of only two sellers, their quality of product will be little to no product difference, because almost like monopoly, there are like only two sellers, so there are only two product producers are there, so their product are not really different, because they don't really have much competition. A little more than monopoly and a lot less than perfectly competitive market. And about control, substantial control, of course not as much as control as monopoly, but obviously a lot of control. About entry, there will be some entry, obviously some entry. About oligopoly, not more than two, of course more than two sellers, because it is not duopoly, so more than 2 sellers. And about quality of product, controllable price, entry barriers are as usual as duopoly. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone for listening.